Hello and welcome to The Bottom Line on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. I'm going to bring you the latest business and economic stories from the region. Now, NATO's new 5% defense spending target, including a bigger slice for cybersecurity and infrastructure, could reshape business across Poland and Central Europe. But who will really benefit remains uncertain. We'll now explore how this surge could affect local firms, dual-use technology, and European security in Jan Kennedy's latest feature report.
This year's NATO summit, held in The Hague, wrapped up with a much-anticipated announcement.
Allies have agreed to invest 5% of GDP in defense. This is a significant commitment in response to significant threats to our security.
Shares of European defense companies rose on Thursday following the announcement, with Germany's Rheinmetall seeing substantial near 5% gains.
It is a great opportunity to improve their technology, to improve their sales, and perhaps also to expand internationally. So once they have a trusted product, which can, whose production can be easily scaled, then they are in a perfect position to expand internationally and to secure some international contracts.
This planned spending spree comes after years of underinvestment, which left Europe trailing global giants in advanced tech development. And this shift could give the broader economy a much-needed lift.
Europe spends less on the most technology-intensive industries like the defense industry. Big investment in the new technologies, new defense technologies. Spending more on the army, on defense, it means also the better longer-term prospects for the European economy.
But not all of the spending will go directly to defense, with around 1.5% of GDP expected to be allocated to critical infrastructure.
Those are the sorts of funds that can basically help not just military expenditure and military purposes, but also civilian purposes, because those roads and railways and bridges will be used by civilian as well as military traffic.
Construction companies across Europe stand to benefit. Those in Central and Eastern Europe may gain not only from domestic projects, but also from opportunities in countries like Germany.
Those infrastructural contracts can be realized also by foreign subcontractors, which quite likely are to come from either Poland or other Central Eastern European economies.
But covering this increased spending will require budget adjustments elsewhere, sparking resistance from Spain.
España siempre es la solución, Carlos. Nunca es el problema. Nosotros aportamos soluciones. Defendemos con convicción nuestras posiciones y creo que además son compartidas por la mayoría social de nuestro país. Estamos hablando de que si hubiéramos aceptado lo que se había propuesto, España tendría que destinar de aquí al año 2035 más de 300.000 millones de euros. ¿De dónde salen esos recursos? ¿De más impuestos a la ciudadanía? ¿De recortes en el sistema de educación, de sanidad, de pensiones?
Amidst mounting geopolitical tensions, however, many argue that defense spending is no longer optional. And with a 10-year horizon, some economists believe the 5% goal is achievable.
This is up to the politicians to convince the societies that this is necessary and somehow to make this change over 10 years. From the economic point of view, anybody telling you that you cannot do it because we don't have money for that is telling you absurd.
Only time will tell whether this bold 5% target becomes a reality and if it will deliver long-standing benefits for the economy.
Now, with NATO pushing member states to boost defense spending to 5% of GDP, including a significant 1.5% allocated to broader security measures like cybersecurity and infrastructure, the implications for business, especially in Poland and the CE region, are enormous, but still unclear. While this new target promises a potential windfall for local defense firms and tech startups, questions remain about who will ultimately benefit, how procurement will be managed, and whether this spending will truly strengthen European security or simply shuffle budgets. Today we explore these challenges and opportunities with Dr. Klaus-Jürgen Gern, Senior Economist, Kiel Institute for the World Economy. Thanks so much, and welcome to The Bottom Line.
Hello from Kiel.
So let's begin with this, jumping into the opportunities. So this 1.5% is really interesting. A lot of things are possible with that. We're also looking at infrastructure, cybersecurity. But in particular, I'm wondering how much of this, let's say, can be done by companies in Poland and the CE, or how much will Google and Microsoft and US tech giants benefit from?
Yeah, so this is really an interesting and important question at this point. I think the Europeans will have to be quick and decisive in their approach to how to increase the defense capabilities in Europe in these areas. And with the geopolitical environment having changed, that is the US part in the NATO less certain to give the cover for Europe at any circumstance. It is, in my view, imperative that Europe increases its own capabilities in areas where they are at the moment really dependent on the US. So more independence is certainly the goal, and how to achieve this quickly, that will be the big question and the challenge for European policymakers.
Mm-hmm. You're saying to be quick and decisive, and I think someone who also is trying to make sure that leaders remember that is Ursula von der Leyen, and she actually spoke at the Hague Summit, and let's just listen to what she had to say about this particular topic.
How we invest is just as important as how much we invest. So as we replenish our stocks, we must also modernize our legacy systems and cater for new technological needs. This is vital for credible deterrence, and the European Union has an important role to play here. We need to identify potential unicorns proactively and channel more capital towards them, both from public and private investors. We will allow dual-use projects to access our new AI gigafactories with their unparalleled computational power. And the same goes for our European Innovation Council Fund for startups. We will seek this kind of synergy across the board. We must better connect our tech industry with our defense industrial base.
Now, we heard words there from Ursula von der Leyen, head there of the European Commission, but I mean, these are lofty words. It sounds good, but then, I mean, we've heard this before, and now we need action, as you said, quick and fast. Now, how realistic is it for SMEs, as she said, certain rising unicorns, to really get this kind of funding? Because, I mean, the clock is ticking, it needs to be fast, or is this just another pipe dream?
Yeah, it's true. There was a lot of truth in the words of Madame von der Leyen, but of course, the ambitions in Europe have been large or big in the past already, and the achievements have been very disappointing so far in the tech areas, and now it is a question. It's also a kind of a trade-off between the speed of how we to improve cybersecurity, for example, and the European part in it. It's of course very much easier and quicker to buy this from US providers who already have this in their offers, but that wouldn't solve the problem of dependence. So it is, in my view, now important that there is a strategic approach to really improve the basis of IT and cybersecurity industries and in Europe. And this is, of course, then potentially creating another problem with the US expectation that a lot of this money that the Europeans are promising to spend now will ultimately end up in US firms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this also reminds me, you said like this is about like basically sovereignty also for Europe. I mean, this is something that we've been hearing a lot, especially the last few months, but still as many of these dependencies exist with the United States, as you've just laid out. I'm just reminded of Gaia X, for instance. That was also this idea of data sovereignty on a European level. I mean, that eventually got stuck. Looking at, again, they needed a technology partner. That ended up being, I think, Microsoft. So, I mean, the question is, can Europe really do this? I mean, there's the potential, but can it really be done?
It's far from clear that that we will be able to do this, but we should certainly strategically aim for a step in that direction, and we should really sit together and try a European approach. The problem now is that the NATO pledges are national pledges, and national governments will decide on what exactly these fiscal resources are spent for. And this will, of course, also vary from country to country. Where are the most prominent deficiency in the defense environment? Is it infrastructure? Is it this cybersecurity thing? But on a European level, if we want to really reduce the dependency from the US, then there has to be a European approach, and there has to be much more European cooperation in defense areas, as then had been until now, done until now.
Mm-hmm. You said about deficiencies, and also, I mean, let's look more at mobility. That's going to be a big term now, also looking for more of that 1.5%, right? That's going to go to this as well. So tell us a bit more about how ports and rail systems and this kind of infrastructure on a mobility level is going to benefit, especially if we're looking at our region here in the sea. That's, you know, the ports in Poland and the Baltic seas, and even further into Romania. How do you see those companies and those particular infrastructure hubs benefit from all this?
Yes, here we have a lot of more chances to that the domestic or the local economies can really benefit from these investments. There are, of course, also in these areas there is a tendency that large suppliers are having a much better chance to get the fundings to do application for a big infrastructure project. But if the application procedures are improved, and also in a way that also smaller companies can apply or team up and apply then, and if the smaller companies are also aware of this and are getting informed about how to take part in this investment rally, then they have a chance also to benefit, and the local economy can then get a boost from this money.
Mm-hmm. I also want to tie it back as well. I mean, such a key place. It's Poland, and if we look at that as a key component, we've seen so much here in terms of development, especially with NATO as a member state as well. I mean, Rzeszów itself in the southeast of the country, that's really come as a crucial hub for a lot of logistics coming in. Do you see this now being scaled even more? Are there opportunities more for Poland in all this as a defense hub in the future?
Yes, I would expect that Poland is, of course, at the center of these efforts. It's the largest country on the border of Russia, and it will be important to prepare the infrastructure in these areas for a potential military effort, and that will include also targeting the fiscal resources into this infrastructure spending, and so these countries should benefit particularly from the increase in defense spending in the European Union and NATO-wide.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think I want to ask from another point of view, if we're looking at what Germany has done. I mean, this is also a big boost for Germany if we're looking at the debt break. I mean, more spending as well, also there for defense and infrastructure. But also, if we look at defense companies from Germany as well, I'm thinking maybe Rheinmetall. I mean, that's the other thing I'm curious about, is there already is investment now into Lithuania. There's a weapons plant there being built by Rheinmetall. Is this also going to be a catalyst now for more, let's say, German defense companies to maybe scale into this region, including Poland, in the future?
Yes, I certainly think that this will happen. One reason being that the capacities in Germany itself to expand production is limited, and it's probably much easier to build a factory outside Germany and find appropriate labor there than it is the case in Germany itself. Not talking about the painfully long appropriation procedures that we have in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Right. And as you look also into the future with this, I mean, it's a lot of money at stake. We know that European defense companies, big giants, are already on the markets benefiting from this. We mentioned already the Americans here. What about interest from other countries? Do you see this now as a boost and catalyst for, let's say, more South Korean investment or Japanese, or maybe from the Middle East and any of these particular areas that we talked about today?
I'd say that the defense spending in the core fields, that is probably mainly now directed to European firms. This will be the first target. Then, of course, we have a lot of US stuff already that will be also broadened and expanded. But of course, there's also, I think Poland, for example, ordered quite some arms from South Korea already. So there's also other countries that can benefit from this. And if contracts are large enough, there can also be some contracts that involve production in Europe by firms from countries outside Europe.
Right, so there's still a lot ahead. I think it's going to really be a boon for much, and as you said, and analyze this really interestingly enough. I want to thank you so much for your time. That was our guest here on The Bottom Line, Dr. Klaus-Jürgen Gern. Really appreciate all those insights today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And that concludes The Bottom Line here on TVP World for today. I was your host, Sasha Farbach. We hope we'll see you next time. Goodbye.